evolution in cinema has impacted your personal life, and as for many of us, how have you managed that with your amazing career?
आवाज आ रही है आप सबको? Okay. Well, I think, when I was unmarried and I was fancy free and I was just working and I was doing a lot of films, people asked me, how was life, when you were working? There was no life when I was working. I was just working. We were doing 2 shifts, 3 shifts. So most of the time was spent on sets. I think I actually lived my life after I got married. And I had kids and I finally had all the adventures one has in life. I had a wonderful partner. I do have a wonderful partner, and we share a lot of things which are outside. We talk about a lot of other things, and it was a beautiful life. Even when I was in Denver, everybody dreams of a life for themselves, and having a family, and having your own house and a husband, and that was also a big part of my own dream for myself.
Every girl's dream about that Prince Charming.
So I was living a dream then too, and of course then I decided to come back to films. It's my passion. I love what I do, and very few people can say that in life that they are doing what they love doing, and they're passionate about. So I think I've been very, very fortunate. So I came back, and I think when you actually live life, you kind of mature as people. You are faced with so many different situations. And then when you are doing a movie or you're acting, all those experiences kind of make you better actors, I think. All your life experiences help you to make better actors. And that's exactly what I felt when I came back.
Amazing. As Guneet just mentioned, there is so many iconic characters you've played, and a personal favorite, and I'm sure the audience will agree, being Mohini. With these films, which has been your most memorable, iconically female-led character, and why?
I think every film I did, I was very fortunate that I got characters which were very strong. They were strong women. Whether it was Beta or Dil or Raja or, Dil To Pagal Hai or Mrityudan. I mean, that is one film that I really enjoyed making. Also because for me, it was like pushing the envelope as a woman.
Absolutely.
Because people considered me to be the baby of commercial films. And Mrityudan was considered to be an art film. And the two were like separate things. You couldn't merge the two. And I said, no, I want to do it because it's a great role. And it's about women empowerment. It's about women standing up and speaking for herself. And that's the kind of message I'd like to give to the people. And that is one of my memorable films for me.
Amazing. And then, of course, the subject of social media. So you've seen a time in the industry and the business of cinema where social media didn't exist. And today, for many of the young actresses, their career is often led by their social media. How have you felt about that? What have you done to adapt to that? Or how do you think that differs in their career development as a girl?
Well, I think, when I was working initially, films were the mainstay. That was a form of entertainment. There was nothing else. There were films, or you go out and you eat with your family, or watching films was one of the mainstays of entertainment. But today you have so many other, venues, like you have the OTT, you have the social media, you have Insta, you have Twitter. There's so many things that are at your fingertips, and you can get your, entertainment from. I think today they are not only movie stars. They're stars in every other. There are Twitter stars, there are Insta stars, there are, YouTube stars, and so I think it's become huge. I mean, it's become like, it's not just one mainstay. It's like you have so many different things, and you have stars from every different, entertainment arm, you could say. And so I think in today's day and age, yes, you can be a social media star as well, where what you think, what you feel, your daily life, your thoughts, come into play, and you can influence people by all that. And I think I basically use my social media to do that. If I have something to say, if I have to clear up something or have something to say, I say it on Twitter or on my social media, or I just have fun with it, making reels. And so, I think I have adopted the social media as well into my, and made it my own.
I was just going to say, yeah, I think it's about enjoying yourself, whether it's your real life or real life, as they say. So I'm sure. You also are someone who transitioned from an acting career into producing, obviously, which is a very different realm, which Guneet will shortly share as well, what that meant. How was that transition and what was the decision behind this?
Well, I think because I've been in front of the camera all this time, there is, something that you would like to tell the audience or you want your film to say to the audience. And I thought as a producer, I would have that control over what I want to say and the way I want to say it.
And did you get that control as a producer?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I made my first, I made 2 regional films in Marathi language. And the first one was 15 August, which Netflix liked and they just took it right away. So it went straight to OTT. And my second film released in the theatre called Pancha, which was on superstitions and, how one should not be carried away by them. And the first one was about freedom and what freedom means to you. I mean, there are different kinds of freedoms. Freedoms to love who you want to, freedom to, even die when you want to, Do you really have those freedoms? So it talked about all that. And I thought that this was something different and something that had not been discussed before.
Amazing. And what do you think, of course, there, from your dance perspective as well, we all know what an amazing dancer you have, and you've created this platform to help new talent, nurture young girls and boys who want to step in from that art form. How did that come about a little bit and what that means in your entire career?
Well, I think dance has been an integral part of Hindi filmmaking. Music, dance, it's very cultural, it's very traditional, it's very in our, veins and blood. It's something that we really enjoy. Every festivity has it, whether it's marriage or Diwali or just a party at home, everybody loves to dance. And I thought that what if I could teach people, to dance? And that's when me and my husband came up with the idea of creating an edutech for dance, which was called Dance with Madhuri. And we were online where people could come and learn, and it was all free. We were also.
How many of us would like to dance with Madhuri?
Yes, and I did teach on that as well. And few of my very, very popular numbers were taught by me on the site. And I thought, it brings me so much joy in my own life. And I thought, what if I could share that with everybody else? So
that's a lovely point as well. And just to get both of you discussing a little bit about the differences in your career as well, Guneet, I'd like to ask you, of course, first of all, let us know, what is it like on stage when you pick that trophy up and you're announced as an Academy Award winner? Give a round of applause for Guneet Monga.
Thank you. Absolute dream, Elephant Whisperers did become the first Indian film ever to win an Oscar. 2023. We were nominated again. In fact, I landed this morning.
I know. Thank you very much. From the Academy Awards to IIFA.
Thank you. I can tell you first, when it was announced, it was surreal. But when I did go up on stage and get the trophy from Pedro Pascal, the first thought was, oh my God, it's heavy. It's around 4 kgs.
Wow.
And it's a solid 4 kgs. So you're just like, ooh, whoa, whoa. So that is your first.
We don't make it that difficult with our trophy.
And then I was just holding it up. If you see my photos, then I was like, okay, I got this. I'm not taking it down. Surreal, magical, for sure. Very humbled.
What do you think has been your biggest...
Thank you.
Please, a round of applause. We can't say enough. And as a woman who started her career behind the camera, what do you feel has been the biggest challenge, especially as you came from a non-filmy background, someone who wasn't from the industry or the business, who wanted to break into this about 20 years ago? What was those challenges like?
You know, so I come from a very, very, very humble family in Delhi. हम लोग रेंट पे रहते थे और सपने देखे थे कि बस प्रोड्यूसर बनना है, कहानियाँ बोलनी है, बम्बई जाएंगे, फिल्में बनाएंगे. It's very far apart. You know, my parents and I used to stay in a 5,000 rupees rented 2 BHK in Faridabad, in Surajkund, outskirts of Delhi. And came to Bombay, shared apartments, just एक दिन producer बनेंगे, you know, fall in love with the stories, find the money, find the actors, reach out, you know, make it in that money, release it, distribute it, market it, take it to the world, understand distribution around the world. ये सब किया, you know, be it Lunchbox, be it Gangs of Wasseypur, be it, you know, Masan, Paglet, Kathal, recently Kill, जितनी भी filmography रही है that I'm grateful for in the last 2 decades. Sorry, I got distracted.
The challenges and how the journey.
So, one thing that I definitely faced was ageism.
Oh,
You know, because as a 21-year-old, यहाँ पर आकर फिल्म बनाने का जो सपना था, it was always like, इसको कैसे दे देते हैं पैसे? You know, she's so young. I definitely faced ageism. And
do you feel the ageism was more than about you being a woman?
I think,
Or was it because of being a woman you felt the ageism was also more apparent?
you know, I have to say this, being a woman is actually never something that I thought was a problem. Though a decade and a half later, post the Me Too movement, I learned words like gaslight. मुझे ये vocabulary नहीं पता थी, मुझे पता नहीं था कि ये सब कुछ क्या होता है. I didn't know that अच्छा इसकी वजह से भी discrimination होता है. You know, because discrimination is not my problem, it is सामने वाला's problem. I used to get my work done.
That's a wonderful way of looking at it, that it empowered you rather than deterred
Somebody
you.
else's problem that they don't want to talk to me. I'm just like, अच्छा मुझे ये काम करवाना है. आप कैसे करोगे? Be getting it done from, you know, somebody who's working on your set as a labor, or you're raising money with, you know, a huge professional, or, you know, you're doing business plans. You know, so I never had that switch also in my brain. I always articulated it as ageism. I was 26 and I colored my hair white. I used to wear sarees and wear specs. I prayed for chashme. You know, हाय बाल सफेद हो जाए, आँखों में चश्मे लग जाए, लोग पैसों के लिए ट्रस्ट कर लेते हैं. You know, so I prayed for. अब सारे बाल सफेद हैं और full on चश्मे हैं.
But now you don't want those white hairs.
Yeah, but now it's okay. Now I'm 41. But 2 decades ago, I prayed for it. You know, as a 28 or 27 years old on Gangs of Wasseypur, you know, just 29 years old on Lunchbox, just trying to push and new territories. You know, learning and innovating distribution. Like Lunchbox was an Indo-French co-production. You know, India and France had signed a treaty in 1987. I was the first one to use it in 2011.
Oh my God!
Or
Wow.
2012. So just constant innovation, you know, taking films to Cannes, figuring out how to distribute around the world, and all of that leading up to Kill this year, which broke out at Toronto, and we distributed the whole world. You know, which is very different from a regular Hindi film.
Which is also nominated, of course, at IIFA.
I'm very excited and I'm very happy to be at the 25th IIFA.
Absolutely.
My first time being here, so I'm just very humbled to be here with a movie. Yeah.
Amazing. And you've been able to successfully take a lot of independent films on a journey of a global success. How do you relate to the independent industry when it's compared to the commercial films, and being able to translate your passion in the big screen?
You know, it's a great question. You know, nobody cares about the independent. So because lack of access, You know, we actually don't know our limits. हमें पता ही नहीं कि हमारा दायरा कहाँ है, इसलिए हम लोग इतने बड़े सपने देख लेते हैं कि कुछ तो कर ही लेते हैं. You know, so we are not stuck to any limitation. You know, we are so indie. Like at the end of the day, we have to make it happen. So I think what we believe is the power of asking. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सामने वाला मना ही कर देगा ना.
Very
But
true.
पूछ तो लेते हैं, you know. And I think that is how indie, you know, you make your tribe, you make your team, you double down, you're, you know, sharing lunches. You don't care about the rules of the business, you know, and you're just so happy. So I've been in one corner making independent films. Now it's been 40 films down. And now my little corner is shining. But I've always been in that corner very happy. You know, doubling down on my tribe, working with a lot of incredible actors, with a lot of great crew, with a lot of first-time directors, and we actually don't know limits because आँख खोल के सपना देखते हैं, you know, and I think commercial cinema actually is very bonded with ऐसा होना चाहिए, ये लोगों को नहीं पसंद आएगा, ये हम बोल नहीं सकते, एक गाना ऐसा चाहिए, इतने रूल्स के साथ वो पैकेजिंग में फंस जाते हैं that I feel like वो तो हमने सोचा ही नहीं था, you know. So we are very liberated in our thought. And in fact, you know, Anura winning this year is a celebration of Anura winning at Oscars is a celebration of independent cinema. And independent cinema, actually, when you see commercial cinema back breaking, it is the era of independent. It is the era of people who don't know their limitation and can dream and can make things happen. You know,
Absolutely.
so it is not an era of rules and regulations, and you know, stories live through generations.
And if we don't dream, we don't achieve, of course. So I'm glad.
The universe
The
believes
universe
in.
is believing, yes. And like we discussed, it is changing in cinema, both whether it's internationally or in India for women. But what initiatives or establishments, or what do you think we can do more with people like yourselves that have led this business to empower and to get more women behind the camera?
Thank you for asking that. You know, we were just talking backstage, and I'm actually deeply, deeply honored to share the stage with my own legend. I have grown up seeing you.
Everybody's a legend.
I mean, come on. I was like, whoa. So thank you, IIFA, for creating this moment for me. It's so, so special. Thank you. You know, I feel, genuinely live in an echo chamber. We have beautiful partners that we work with in our companies, in our organizations. We work with incredible people, having good men in our life, you know, aware, evolved men. So I feel like we live in an echo chamber, but हमारे आगे भी दुनिया है, which is not as empowered, you know, and which is what we all need to hold hands and encompass, right? So I feel like there are so many women, like there are more women in my office than men. And there is a lot of pride. I mean, it's an organization led by a woman, and there's a lot of pride. We don't have that lens of, most of my slate is female led. You know, be it Paglet, Kathal, or even when we did Surarari Potru, you see the characters, or you see any of the women characters, even in Kill. You know, you see how any of the women characters, how they're shown, or even in a testosterone heavy film. So there is always this lens. But I feel like our lens is an echo chamber, and then there is a lot to be done, because जब stats आते हैं बाहर and it says less than 3% women are directors, then I feel like,
Exactly.
why is that happening, you know? Less than 9% are in crew. In fact, you know, a very, very disturbing stat that I really, really want to share is that everybody tries to make their low budget films with female DOPs when they have no money. The minute their next film happens, the same crew moves on to make films with, you know, we will go do this. And smaller budget things go to women DOPs constantly. And that really, you know, disturbed me, that information. That why is it being treated as ये सबसे difficult छोटा एवी है या डिफिकल्ट काम है ये करवा लेते हैं, बट फिल्म किसी और से बनवा लेंगे, राइट? द क्राफ्ट इज द सेम एंड द क्राफ्ट इवॉल्व्स विद मोर वर्क एंड मोर अपॉर्चुनिटीज. So there is clearly some sort of, I think we are all born in patriarchy and we are learning feminism every day. You know, हम लोग हर रोज अपने आप को एजुकेट करते हैं और हम लोग हर रोज सोचते हैं कि आज हम थोड़ा सा एनवेलप कैसे मूव करें. So at large, to all the amazing men who understand that women put up a huge fight 10 times over to win it once, who understand this, you know, we need to double down on more colleagues in the industry. Personally, we are building, this is not officially announced, but maybe today at IIFA, we are building Women in Film India.
Amazing, guys.
Thank
Put your
you.
hands together.
We are humbly funded by the Gates Foundation and Women in Film LA to set up the space, to set up the skill development plans, and we are building that out now. No better day than, you know, maybe Women's Day to the one day that is given to
And
women.
it shouldn't be one day, of course. It should be every day of the year that women are celebrated.
But there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm very, we've come a long while from when ma'am started to where we are. There are a lot of women on set. But I think now we need to double down on HODs and have more women perspective. And also be aware on how women are shown on screen, you know, as just because that defines pop culture.
Amazing. So you said, of course, there is amazing men around us. On that note, I want to acknowledge, of course, Andre, Sabas, Viraf, and IIFA, which has also been led by amazing men. But we have a very strong female-led team, you know, at IIFA and our home, and I very proudly am part of that. With IIFA becoming such a strong global platform, this is something for both of you to share. How do you think platforms and IIFA as a soft power can also help develop this change, both whether it's behind the camera or in front of the camera?
I think the fact that IIFA has such a big audience all over the world, and they have so many eyeballs, that anything you do to make
That's
people
about
aware.
2 billion people, just to add to everyone, that connect with this brand globally every year.
Amazing, amazing. And so I think whatever you do to make people aware of a lot of subjects that you want them to be, like you say, you use the soft power to take your culture to other countries. And today, because of OTT, like we were discussing, there's so much we see from all over the world. And they see our movies, we see their movies, their series, and imagine a Korean drama that we, watch here in India. I would have never thought that would ever happen, but it does. And I think IIFA is a great, platform where you can take your stories, your, whatever you want to make people aware of, take it to the world, and people will listen, because they trust you and they have seen you, and they really they're looking forward to whatever you want to tell them.
You know, dear IIFA, you guys are incredible. You've built a huge institution and a big brand that matters to the industry. I think the onus of women paving ways for women should not just be on women, right? Please share it. Please, our dear men, share that onus. I would request IIFA to give awards to men who support leading women in main characters.
Absolutely.
Who stand up and say, I will do this film because it's led by a woman. To reward producers who are pushing women characters, directors, writers, who are making them empowered on screen, and studios who are putting money behind it. I think there should be a whole category of awards on how women are shown on the screen. Those films should be awarded and represented, and those people should be acknowledged, and especially actors, who are saying that let's the onus cannot just be on women. It should be on the industry at large, and there should be an industry-led award um, for people who celebrate women on screen.
Wonderful. And again, to both of you, how do you feel you can influence or mentor or empower the next generation of female actresses or female producers, directors, like we're mentioning? What is the one sort of empowering message that you would like to share to them, other than dreaming, of course?
Well, I think we are the ones who, make a path for them, so to say. If I keep pushing the envelope today, and I keep saying that, no, I want better roles, I want to do this, I want, say, even a simple example, like when I did Pukar, I talked about that, and I talked about Mrityudan. People were totally against me doing that film. They said, no, you're a commercial actress, you cannot do this film. She shoots someone in the end, and she said, you can't do that. And I said, why? If I don't push the envelope, I don't try different roles, and I don't say that I want the woman to be really strong on screen, and I want to do those kind of roles, maybe, nobody else will be able to follow. Nobody else will get the inspiration of doing the same. And if I'm successful at doing that, then I pave the way for others to follow, other women to follow and say, hey, we want strong roles, we want, meatier kind of representation on screen, more powerful representation. And so I think it's the powers in the leading. I have to lead so that the others can follow, and I have to make the choices accordingly.
And you have. You have paved that way for many of us to come through, so thank you. And I will just say that we're not each other's competition. We're each other's companion, so I believe in you shine, I shine. So the way we talk about each other in the rooms that we are not there defines who we are. So celebrate each other, double down on each other in the rooms that you enter.
Very well said. Another something that we were just talking about behind stage is lifestyle, well-being, being in the right environment, and being able to look as fabulous as, of course, Madhuri ji and both you, Guneet, look tonight.
Not a patch.
I know, but we're sharing the stage, so we're at least the beauty and inspiration. How do you feel that plays a role in both you being an actress or just for your life itself personally? Where does lifestyle, wellness, and how do you manage all of this?
How do you manage to look the way you look?
Yeah, and still every year is still on like that. We would like a secret.
No. I don't know. I mean, thank you for your compliments. Thank you so much. But I think it's the way I look at life. For me, life is about living it, about enjoying it, about doing what you think is right, about making the decisions that comes from your heart. And that's what I've always done and followed. Of course, the beauty and every other part is, skin deep. It's like, I feel everything comes from within. And if you have that power within, if you have that that curiosity about life always, like Guneet is sitting here, and I want to know everything about her and how her journey was, and how beautifully she has, managed to fight back and do something on her own. And she gives me the inspiration. I want to be an inspiration for others. So I don't think it's about just looking good or, lifestyle. It's about the curiosity you have about the world, what you want to achieve, what your plans are for the future, what you want to see happen in your life. I think all that adds and makes you who you are, right? And for the young girls, I would say that, always try to be yourself. Don't try to follow a mold, you break the mold. Create your own identity. Do something that's different, be different. And that's
be
how
yourself, right?
Yeah, be yourself. And that's how, you will be who you are, right? There's nothing, there's no perfection as such in life.
Okay, for us, that's you, but anyway, we'll take your word. And Guneet, what would you share in terms of lifestyle or well-being, or how you look after yourself to be a stronger person, a better person, and be able to achieve more?
I was like 90 kgs and down in the dumps and looked like a hag, like just like a, I was very busy working and that was life. Never really thought about self or a need or like, balance. Then 30s happened, then 40s happened and I was like, okay, now I need to, you know. So slowed down a little bit, and I think in my journey, what has happened, lost some good amount of weight, moved towards health, reversed the blood markers, learned life balance. I think what happened in my life was a journey of spirituality, where I learned how to be more grateful. I just feel like I was taking the burden of the world on my head, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to carry the burden of the whole world. It's fine. I can also breathe and live life. So, and I think my beautiful husband, my very good-looking, handsome husband, helped 2 years
Hiding
ago.
somewhere there, round of applause.
Yeah, I desperately wanted to get married.
Behind every woman, a successful woman, there's also a man, right? Like you said.
Yeah. And the two dimples help. Why can't we objectify?
Women have been so for so long. Why not men?
Yeah.
For women, I always say that, balance is not perfection, right? And I think you should learn to
Agreed so
delegate
much.
in life.
No, as a mother, as a
Exactly,
actor, as a
yeah.
producer, it's far more demanding. But for me, as a running a company and traveling so much, and also running a full-time production company with multiple projects, multiple demands, and all of them at different stages, I think, and now a marriage, a household, and all of that, I think it really, you come to a point where you learn the balance. Some people are better at it, some people learn it along, and I have learned it, and I think a deep sense of gratitude has helped me smile through the day, and also to define success for myself. बिकॉज इतना एंग्स्ट होता है ना कि मतलब हम सक्सेसफुल नहीं है, हम और अच्छा कर सकते हैं, वो that is a non-stop sense of greed. It's a non-stop sense of roller coaster that you're always on. So I think if I can wake up inspired every morning, I'm successful.
Absolutely. I've always said if you can wake up and smile in the morning, thinking about what you're going to do, and be grateful for that, rather than running the rat race or being on a hamster's wheel, always trying to run after something.
Yeah, and always having a supportive partner always helps.
With two dimples, yes.
Mine doesn't have dimples, but it still helps.
He's a doctor.
And I'm still searching, so I'll look for two dimples first, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, both of you have had an experience of America in your life. Madhuri ji, you moved there to live. Guneet, obviously your career's taken you in that path. And up until I feel very recently, we've always looked up to the West and America and Hollywood and all of this. But thankfully now, we were discussing earlier, that they're looking to the East. What have you found has been your journey between the two worlds that you've lived in, whether in terms of living or your work or your careers? How have you felt that, and what have you felt the differences or similarities?
You have more experience with that.
You lived there. I think I've learned business. The business practices there are incredible because in LA they look at the whole world as business for a movie. And in India, we tend to look at India and the diaspora as our universe. So we look at Indians around the world, which is amazing. We are a huge, amazing, empowered population. And we love our movies and our movie stars, which is incredible. But I think that there is a perspective where out of LA, you look at the whole world. You look at the non-diaspora also as your audiences. And that's a journey that I lived on Lunchbox, and that's the journey that I more recently lived on Kill. And when you get feedback from Korea, from Japan, from Spain, from Azerbaijan, and you're selling those territories, and you're getting feedback, and you're getting amazing reviews, you're just like, this is our skin color, these are our technicians, this is our craft, and we took it further and expanded the world. So that perspective of business came to me from LA. I'm excited to work in India and to distribute around the world. Basically, make films in India and use the dollar in our favor and distribute in dollars. So that is the journey I'm excited on, to expand the world of our culture, of our skin color, and to be able to, like I keep saying that my dream would be to make a Brown Panther. Black Panther box office is $2 billion. So why...
Imagine what the Brown Panther could do.
Exactly. $1
trillion film.
Yeah, पहले 2 billion तक पहुंच जाते, अभी हम कुछ millions में हैं. And so more like, where is the Crazy Rich Indians? So I get inspired by the business side of Hollywood, which is taking their films and distributing on the whole world, not diaspora or non-diaspora. They are defining pop culture globally. So I feel like the increasing conversation and power of the East and increasing amazing, incredible films like Parasite has happened. I just feel it's time for us to do that, and I would love to be able to have that moment or create that story. So I'm on that journey. We've started making small dents, and one has to learn the business to navigate that. So yeah.
Great. And one of the things when we talk about women or men in any industry, there's always this question about the gender pay gap and how that's closing. Like you said, you'd like to see women being supported by men. What have you felt? Has there been a difference, especially Madhuri ji, from the very early years? Today, female actresses in India can command just as much for a film or be on the producing side and be on the business side. Have you felt a difference there on that pay gap?
Well, I think for the women, they have to prove themselves time and again and time and again, and to say that we're equally, we can draw an audience, we can do that, but you have to prove it every single time. And yes, there is still a disparity, but like she said, it's like pushing the envelope. Every time a little bit more, and it's like baby steps. We are still a long way away from actual. The disparity not happening, but I think we have a long way to go, and we have to kind of work every day towards that.
I mean, having said that, there was Barbie last year, and there was 3-2, which was women-led, and the film is called only 3-2, and there was Barbie last year. So I just think that there are full possibilities of breaking the box office. There are full possibilities of creating those moments.
No, I think that happens. Like when I did, say, a Raja, people said it should have been called a Rani or a Beta, it should have been called Beti. But it all is words, When will it actually happen? That is the question. It did happen at one point in my life, but is it a regular happening? I don't know. It's very rare.
So that's why I was like, last year Barbie and 3-2 that happened, that these two films broke the box office there and here. One needs to do more. One needs to take more chances, and to be able to do that, there is clearly a pay gap. There is clearly a difference, and absolutely women have to do it 10 times to be doing it once. Also, to be constantly, be supported by actors. It's very hard, but I just feel like I genuinely want men actors to answer this question. I just feel like the onus of answering these questions on women is very strange, because we're anyways the people who are
on the receiving end of
on
this.
the receiving end, and then to comment, on that, what we can do is create more opportunities, do more. There is no shortcut of doing more. And we've seen some examples, like 3-2 is an incredible example. It's the highest box office Hindi language film to date. So there is so much power in just doing that and doing more of that, hopefully. And in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, we have more examples of that, it will become a norm. I hope so. I'd like to dream
We
so.
all do.
Yeah.
And like I just mentioned.
Thank you for being part of that.
So when we started this, I explained that I can make a difference. along with Shobha, have been championing, because Shobha actually has a school in Kerala for girls, for educating them, for giving the step and laying the foundation to build a career. In terms of, what do you think one of those small steps can be for somebody who's just starting out in their career, but could hopefully lead them to making a big difference? What, just if it had to be one thing to motivate them?
Keep creating. There's no shortcut. Write every weekend, shoot every weekend, build your tribe. Don't stop. Don't wait for validation. For who? Don't wait for, you will meet your people. You will make two bad things. Your third thing will be better. Keep creating. And I really, really always give Kartiki Gonzalez his example. She's a natural history photographer. She directed Elephant Whisperers. And she's never been on a film set. She's not come in as an AD. She was a photographer and found a story, made a pitch trailer, sent that as a cold email to Netflix, to us at Sikhya. And that led to creating and starting a team coming together for Elephant Whisperers, to making Kartiki Gonzalez as the first female director to win an Oscar. That's because she didn't think that there was any roadblock. She didn't think that it was not possible. She just fell in love with the story and stayed true to that. And stayed true to that journey.
And she believed in that whole story.
And then she created something. She created a pitch trailer on her own and pitched a pitch trailer. Not like with a script or something. It's a documentary. There is no... So I'm just saying that if you keep creating, you will find your tribe, and that will lead you to your destination. But you can't stop and wait for validation. That's all. Just keep creating.
Never give up.
Never, yeah.
To put it in short, right? Never give up. Because who knows when and where you will find that, germ, and you will hit it and it will be just right. So never give up. Like I was doing my second Marathi film and we had a DOP on board and something happened and he was not being able to make it. And somebody suggested, oh, there's another woman who was a DOP, but she's a woman, And I'm like, so what if she's a woman? And I saw her work and I loved it. And I said, no, I want her on my script for Pancha. And we had her, she did a wonderful job. You should see the film just to see the photography in the film. And recently she was nominated for the best photography. Yes.
Pooja Gupte.
Yes,
Gupte. She's incredible.
Yeah. And I just loved her work. And so that's how it has to be something that is deserving,
Absolutely, and I said that at the Oscar stage after the win, and I said that in the press conference after, and I said, don't wait for a seat on the table. Create your own table and sit on it, and then you can choose who else sits on it. So who's waiting for a seat on the table? It's my table.
Correct. And of course, to lead this conversation to this very big weekend, and with IIFA celebrating its 25 years, 25 years of the industry, the business, cinema, men and women, a very strong lineup for us. What are you most looking forward to during this weekend?
Well, a lot of things, a lot of fun. And of course, we get to see good cinema. We get to see, I meet all my colleagues here. These are, occasions where you actually meet them, talk to them, and interact a lot of times. And so I get to meet them, I get to perform. I'm looking forward to that. And of course,
we all are looking forward to that on Sunday night.
And to see how much talent we have in our country, and to see that itself is going to be very inspiring. And I'm looking forward to that.
And for someone like you, Guneet, like you said, it's your first time at IIFA. You're also nominated, of course. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm so excited to be part of IIFA, firstly. I'm so grateful to be here and to meet everybody, to enjoy. And this is like a cocoon away from the industry, but yet colleagues and peer group here. So I'm actually looking forward to meeting my peers and, celebrating with them. We're all in this hotel, which I'm excited about. And so thank you for creating spaces for conversation. This is, otherwise it's like a meeting in Bombay. it starts and it ends in like 45 minutes to 1 hour. You know, this is going to be cheer. This is going to be breakfast. This is going to be, you know, performances, getting ready. And then 2
Partying.
days.
This is going to be a lot of partying.
And then 2 days, you know, it's just not 1 day. It's for me now 3 days, you know. So we've all come in. So thank you for creating this wonderful space. And of course the performances, of course the conversations. And wow, I didn't know you were performing, so I'm excited for that. And I heard Shah Rukh Khan is here, so yes, I'd love to have.
He is in this building.
I'd love to have chai with him or coffee. So I'm looking forward for IIFA doing that.
I think you and many people in this room and beyond, of
Yeah,
course,
I'm on the stage, so I can ask for it.
special perks. And of course, ma'am, you've shared so many films with, of course, Shah Rukh Khan. Is there anything exciting? Yes, exactly. Devdas, who can't forget that? So anything that we can look forward to? Or you can share as a sneak peek for the performances?
Performance. Well, I think I would like it to be a surprise of sorts. But all I can say that I'm sure you'll love it, you'll enjoy it, because it comes from, you know, our soil. Whatever I'm going to perform is very much from our soil, and उसमें धरती की खुशबू आएगी आपको, और जयपुर की भी बहुत खुशबू आएगी उसमें. So be prepared, you're going to be entertained to the maximum.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank both of you, Madhuri ji, Guneet. It's been absolutely wonderful to kick off, like I said, the IIFA weekend with this evening, and on the eve of International Women's Day. I hope this short journey of women in cinema has given everyone here a glimpse of what initiatives like I Can Make a Difference, along with visionary partners like Shobha, can help do to empower, create knowledge exchange, and give all of us that vision to be able to dream. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Madhuri Dixit ji and Guneet Monga.
And ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the three most amazing women here, and also the women in the audience as well. आप सबके लिए every day is Women's Day for all of us. मैं चाहूँगा आप लोग थोड़ा आगे आ जाए. तीनों बहुत opportunity मिलेगा आपको फोटो का. वादा रहा. I request all our brothers and sisters.